Welcome to the Great Wrestling Debate. We're coming off of the final episodes of July of Raw and SmackDown, and I guess TNA if you want to throw that in there. And also the first episode of Total Divas, which we'll talk about later. Mainly, well, Wayne will mainly
Yes,
talk about because I
I was, I guess my unofficial job was to watch the first episode. I will say this: I was really not completely bored, but will I be watching the whole season? Probably not.
yeah.
But I would say it's I don't know, interesting.
Yeah.
But we'll get there when we
We'll
get
get
there.
there later,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get
Of
there
course, I
later.
didn't even watch it. But I did watch some of SmackDown from last week, and I mean, all I can really say, the only highlight I think was the Sandow Money in the Bank briefcase getting thrown into the Gulf of Mexico, I believe it was.
Yeah,
And
that whole segment was hilarious.
that's yeah,
Cody, put it down. Wait, put what down? Down. Cody, don't phone. Phone what?
yeah, and yeah. And I like I like the work from Sandow. I think I think he can get over with this.
I think
Obviously, we'll see how it.
the best moment was him jumping into the
Yeah,
water. Not even in the deep end.
yeah,
And just
and,
flopping
and
around. I
apparently
can't swim.
and apparently not being able to swim.
And
And
like, oh my god, good job coughing on water too.
yeah,
Just
and
spitting water out.
so yeah, I mean, and yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Like, on Raw, he filed a complaint and whatnot.
Well, that's the thing
So
there
yeah,
too. I mean, is
see what
he still the
happens.
Money in the Bank winner? Because his Money in the
Yeah,
Bank briefcase is
yeah,
no longer around.
that's the thing. It's something we'll have to keep following. And other than that, on SmackDown, I mean, I was pretty disappointed that RVD kind of, was a sacrificial lamb, so to say, to Alberto Del
Well, there was
Rio.
a reason why the match was short. Del Rio supposedly has bruised or
Yeah,
ribs or something, and they didn't want to like hurt him.
yeah.
So they had to make it
So they got to do it.
a quick,
Yeah,
easy match. So
and it's a shame because coming off not too long ago when RVD has this insane match with Chris Jericho and
yeah,
a good decent match with Wade Barrett last week, and then it's like, okay,
yeah.
quick match, like a quick super kick, I guess, of sorts. Which I remember Dolph Ziggler started doing, which is
Yeah.
odd because they. So
Everybody tried to do the best Shawn Michaels at the moment, it
yeah,
feels like.
and I don't know. It's unfortunate, especially then since on Raw, this well, it was technically 6 days ago. Well,
Yeah.
7 days. No, yeah, it was last Tuesday
Yeah.
now. So, of course, RVD facing Fandango.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little, I guess going to Raw now, it was a little silly because they're saying like as the match before the match was gonna happen, they're like RVD's gonna dance with Fandango next and or something like that. Michael Cole was saying.
Well, I think the joke there, I guess, on Cole's part was that RVD's flexible, and technically most dancers are supposed to be very flexible.
Yeah.
So RVD, I guess, can be a better dance. I mean, I hope this isn't going to lead to maybe a dance off between
Obviously, yeah.
Fandango and RVD. The Jericho one made sense, sort of, because everybody knows
He was
Jericho.
from the Dancing with the
The
Stars.
Stars, yeah. But I don't see Rob Van Dam doing a dance off with Fandango.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, come on, this is Monday Night Raw. Let's use RVD the way let's not get in the whole dancing thing and
Yeah.
and of course, I mean, Fandango walked out of the match as it was, so
Yeah,
typical Fandango fashion.
RVD does not have a SummerSlam opponent yet, so
Yeah, so
I mean, there's only 2 weeks left.
unfortunately, yeah. And I mean, his first pay-per-view match back, other than the Money in the Bank match. I mean, I think it'd be a little odd if it was against Fandango, but
Yeah.
I guess we'll wait and see what happens there. As RVD, yeah, again, RVD still doesn't really have a clear-cut opponent yet, so he's kind of been all over the map. Facing this guy on SmackDown, and then another totally different guy on Raw, and
Yep.
yeah, so. Yeah, but yeah, the opening segment I thought was pretty interesting. Daniel Bryan and the Boss,
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon. Um, pretty good stuff there. Again, Vince
Yep.
McMahon playing up that
He does
Daniel
not like
Bryan's the underdog.
He doesn't like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, And yeah, then there's this whole
But it's like
yeah,
John Cena either. I mean,
supposedly, yeah.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's always funny. John acts like he walks the place. Yeah, Vince. Yeah, he like he runs the place. Yeah,
yeah, and there's the
making
whole
me millions of dollars right now. Yeah,
yeah, and then there's the whole thing that you know John Cena like, oh, Vince McMahon might be lying, so you think I'm lying, and so there's a little backstage exchange,
yeah.
you know,
And
at one point in the
if you
show,
notice, and I kind of like this, I guess is the tease in the next two Raws, pretty much. Yeah. John didn't give Bryan an answer to his question.
right?
He just said, "You call me a liar," and Bryan just like stared at him, kind of like, "Well, I thought I'm pretty sure that's why I asked you a question in the first place." But
Yeah, but yeah,
John just walks away, and I don't know, Bryan just does like a stare down, pretty much.
yeah. Um, and then I think at about the same time as normal the past few weeks, the Shield came out and faced Mark Henry.
Mm-hmm.
In that same time frame, they faced Mark Henry and the Usos, which again I guess they might be building up for something for SummerSlam. I don't know.
Supposedly a
Supposedly,
handicap match with Mark Henry team with the Big Show.
yeah,
I can tell you flat out, I don't want to see that match.
yeah.
I'd rather see the 6-man tag match that we just.
Perhaps I don't know.
I mean, are you telling me WWE saw that pre-show that the Usos and the Shield did and said, "Yeah, let's not put that match on SummerSlam"?
Yeah, and then plus if you add Mark Henry to the mix, and
Yeah.
then all three, 3-on-3 again. So yeah, I mean that could work. Um, and yeah, I mean Big Show still not up, still not there.
Still
Wonder what
nursing
they're. I
his injury
guess, yeah.
supposedly.
I guess he was planning to be back sooner, and he's still not there. I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, in that early part of Raw, um, didn't see Randy Orton. Uh,
Yeah, pretty much.
didn't see Cesaro and uh, and Jack Swagger, Zeb Coulter. Um, so yeah, I mean, a lot of absences I
Yeah.
thought on this Raw, and it's weird, but
Well, probably because like I said, double duty, and these guys are hanging over for a tour right now, pretty much. So,
yeah,
I mean, people gotta understand that this was the next night. If guys were not on the
away
card, they were away or on a plane over to
to the other,
the
yeah,
overseas, pretty much.
yeah. So
And that's why I think a lot of fans hate when they do these overseas tours and they don't, and they like fall out of the television lineup because, like you said, usually the tape shows it feels lighter. It's not a whole
yeah,
lot of action
yep,
or lack of. There's not a whole. It feels like the whole roster is not there, and they're probably because they're not there. Like probably most of the roster is already
yeah,
over, and like you said, getting ready for the tour pretty much. So
yeah,
I don't know. I always feel kind of like, oh, it's gonna tape another episode of Raw. Well, this is gonna be a Debbie Downer episode, pretty much.
yeah, yeah, and I think a lot of people would agree that this episode it didn't live up to the hype. They set up two big matches. Of course, and then there's that segment with Ryback.
Oh yes,
Before, yeah,
yes, Ryback. He's not only a bully. The guy's a
slamming,
fatty now too. He likes the snacks. He
sl-
apparently
yeah,
Phoebe Moore now is
slamming, yeah.
just
I guess supposedly being in a backstage area, and then
yeah,
some
just
random guy.
just chugging some water, and putting it down, and then grabbing a chip, just one chip,
Yeah.
not a handful, and then double dipping.
So yeah.
What a douchebag,
So,
double dipping chips. I mean,
so
the guy's evil, Tyler.
so he stuffs
He's
guy.
evil.
Yeah. So he stuffs food in this random guy's face,
Oh my god!
and then
Do you like the chip? Do
then
you like the
eventually-
chip? Eat the chip.
Eventually, he acts like it looks like he's gonna walk away, and then he just picks him up, puts him through the table.
Oh yeah,
all the food.
he ruined a perfectly good food
Yeah.
court. I mean, come on.
And the funny thing
The
is,
man's evil, Tyler. The man is evil.
and I think this moment I also made for what I think I want to start calling the meme of the week. Of course, last week I brought up the whole meme with the new WWE Fitness Center or whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
Development Center, and this is a meme I saw. I see a lot of memes pop up around the time of when Monday Night Raw is going on like the No DQ page,
Yeah.
and there's a meme which showed Ryback with the with this holding this guy against the wall, with the food in his face, and in between Ryback's face and this guy's face was someone who put in the Be a Star logo. So I thought that was probably, I think
We
that's,
do not endorse bullying,
yeah.
but we will have a superstar bully the hell out of
Yeah, and it's
everybody
just
in the
like
locker room.
just the placement of it is like right. It was perfect, and it was
Well,
you know
no. The best
mem of the
the
week.
best insult to be a star was when there was one episode of Raw. I remember Vince was on, and I think it was the evaluation of John Laurinaitis. At one point, he's with
Last
Horn.
year.
Yeah, at one point
Yep.
he's with Hornswoggle, and he has like a Jim Ross hat on. He's making fun of Jim Ross's Bow Posey thing. He's going like Stone Cold, Stone Cold.
Yeah.
And like there's one thing where it has him like making the face on the internet, and it has like "Be a star, Vince. Be a star."
Yep.
You know, you're kind of being a bully right there.
And I think also a notable honor was of mem of the week was a picture. Well, the caption is "Don't forget this," and it was a picture of a shovel, and then next to that was a picture of John Cena smiling in the ring. So I thought that got that gets notable mention as far as mem of the week goes. Um, yeah, and then of course the main emphasis of the show. I mean, you had the Daniel Bryan and Kane match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they booked it. They called it a main event. Two main events, that and the Ryback and Cena tables match.
Yeah.
Um, I think they both went the direction that we figured they would.
Well, yeah, Daniel Bryan
Both
winning. I
guys.
mean, Kane did choke slam Bryan afterwards. I guess just to bring out the Wyatt family, which now officially has the
segue to
coolest
that.
entrance.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well, if not the coolest entrance, the coolest mask now. Because now I keep hearing rumors that WWE will actually sell these lamb heads.
Yeah.
Because I just got to buy one of these things now. This is, I mean, like this might be the next Halloween costume maybe for me. Just wearing a lamb mask. I mean, it's so original. Well, I won't say original, but it just the way the guy wears it, because he's a big guy, just looks creepy as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
maybe it's that one horror movie that comes out where the guy what is it? Oh my god, what's the? They're wearing like animal masks and they're coming in, they're killing a family pretty much in the house. They've been advertising it. It looks creepy as hell, and it's because you have these killers wearing like these animal masks pretty much, and one of them is actually a lamb.
Yeah, I mean, again, coming back out, beating up Kane again. I mean, I see that they're a big heel faction beating people up.
Yeah,
but I still don't quite get the direction of the gimmick and the promos, and it's a little odd.
Well, that's the thing. Bray Wyatt is supposed to be playing this odd fella. Much.
These guys, but I mean,
Tyler, these guys are supposed to be from the backwoods of the South.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know how it connects with the wrestling quite yet. I mean, Grant, we haven't.
Well,
really
let's be fair here too.
The
Shield really, it took them forever until they finally had their first match. All they really did was keep down and just beat people up pretty much, and everybody kept saying, "Okay, that's nice, but these guys going to actually get in the ring and wrestle," and they eventually did. And
thing with the Shield, though, they had this whole idea of like bringing justice to the WWE and correcting, and I mean, I could kind of see that, how that connected, but this other, this Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family thing, it's like,
I believe in one of his promos he said, there are no heroes, we will destroy your heroes. I mean, so I guess they have a goal, Tyler.
But I mean, I don't know. I want to. It's got to see it connect.
I'm just glad the Husky Harris chance finally stopped for Bray Wyatt.
At least for that. At least for that night. We'll see. We'll see if they come up again.
Yeah.
Although
Steve Austin did give a pointer one time on Twitter like a week ago, and he said, if anybody wants to stop the what chance, just talk longer. Like the problem is, some people they just keep pausing.
Yeah.
Stop pausing, and they won't.
They pause like they're asking for it.
Yeah. The off. The fans will just say, "Oh, well, damn, we keep." Should we say what they hear or there?
Yeah.
And they just will stop saying it because it's like, oh, F this then. If it's not going to be easy, we're not even going to try.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, again, going back to that match, I mean, that figured that was going to happen, that Daniel Bryan was going to win. And then, you figured Cena was going to win over Ryback again. And, I mean, it was a little interesting at times. I mean, it was a tables match, so obviously it should have been. But, yeah, I mean, it just makes me think of that meme with the shovel and John Cena. Yeah, I mean, didn't expect Ryback to win here. And, is again he's another guy. We don't know who his opponent is for SummerSlam.
He might not have one.
If he doesn't, yeah, I mean, which would be a waste. But if he doesn't, he's facing John Cena one night in a tables match, but then he doesn't have any plans for SummerSlam. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait. I guess wait and see if they in the next couple weeks come up with an opponent for him.
I'm trying to figure
like
out.
other guys.
Well, no, like I said, his current gimmick seems to be he picks on small guys. So
Yeah,
a big guy, which made me think Big Show. But now this whole rumor is a Big Show and Mark Henry gets the Shield. Kane's facing some. I mean,
Kane with the Wyatt
what the
family.
Great Khali?
Yeah, the giant.
I mean, how many
biggest guys that WWE has to offer?
I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, it has to be somebody big, unless Rey Mysterio's coming back, and that's the gimmick. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Rey's defending the little guys again.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't seem like anything progressed. Other than the whole Cena and Daniel Bryan,
which really, all in all,
with the promo.
I mean, let's be fair. Besides Lesnar and Punk, that Bryan and Cena is going to be the one selling SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So as long as that feud is consistent, and done well, I really don't think WWE has anything to worry about. They probably will do a decent buy rate, which is all they're really worried about is doing a decent buy rate.
Yeah. And
the undercard's starting to fill out. It looks like Ziggler and Langston's going to happen. I mean,
since
it wasn't a clear finish on Monday.
Going hairy there.
Like I said, Rhodes and Sandow are going to have probably a match over the briefcase. And originally, I would have just said it would have been just Sandow winning clean, but now I'm starting to think maybe Sandow won the briefcase just to lose it back to Cody.
Maybe.
Now.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe
because Cody finally is getting treated the star treatment that I've been begging WWE to give him for years.
Maybe they're testing maybe they're testing, how big of a reaction they get and
But can we please, for the love of God, get rid of the mustache?
Well, if they do, then maybe that's a sign that they want to give him the case instead of Sandow. I don't know.
I don't know,
but yeah, it was notable that Christian did beat Del Rio.
Do you want me to just spoil next week's SmackDown?
They want to play up I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it's up to you if you want to.
Well, Christian beats Randy Orton and RVD in a triple threat match.
For number one contention.
And ends up facing Alberto Del Rio. So.
All right, so
I think it's gonna be. I think for me that shows you pretty much that the World Heavyweight title is almost a mid card belt now.
Yeah,
because when has Christian been treated like a main eventer?
Well, when a couple years ago, I liked what he did. The feud he had with Orton. And then, but then the problem was they kept him back down the mid card, and he's had issues with injuries.
The problem I think has always been with Christian is that Vince has never seen him as a main eventer, and I don't think most fans see him. I mean, no offense, the guy is. I don't know what happened. The guy at one point was the bigger version of Edge and Christian. Yeah. He was bigger than Edge at one point.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because he suffered, a back injury, because they're saying back injuries do stuff to people's body. And I'm trying to think what injury he suffered at Raw that took him out of action for a while. But he feels so skinny. He's not. It's not like he's small or anything, but he's so skinny.
I mean, he has some interesting. He's an interesting moveset and.
Well, I'm not saying he can't work. I'm just saying he has I don't see him beating Del Rio. That's all I'm saying. I see this.
Well, sometimes I would feel the same about Cody Rhodes too. There's all kinds of guys. It just depends how much they make them how they can make them stand out and
but
if we can take them legitimately and
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and. I guess obviously Orton's. It's stupid. Orton's got this briefcase.
Here's the fear that I got, and I think Vince Vince almost spoiled a lot of matches pretty much. But I mean, because I remember one time he almost spoiled the whole John Cena and CM Punk match pretty much.
Yeah.
That the whole if John Cena doesn't walk out, he's fired. It's like, well, that's great, Vince. I mean, that kind of spoils the match almost.
Yeah.
But then when Vince saying it'd be great if you don't walk out and John doesn't walk out. It's like, oh, well, this is great. Orton's gonna cash this thing in on the winner.
Yeah, and I saw somebody make a post about maybe that would happen, or Vince sends the Shield out and attacks Bryan. I don't know, but they make
and then they make some kind of like Randy Orton like a corporate champion or something.
Well, that's the thing too. Maybe Orton's
I
gonna be
don't
the
know.
new corporate champion.
That's the thing,
maybe.
and that's what a lot of people fear.
It's amazing though. Randy Orton siding with the McMahons. I mean, this
Yeah.
is a guy who at one point feuded with them. But as far as punning Vince McMahon, punning Shane McMahon, slapping, I believe, Stephanie, and then kind of like, I guess, making out with her in the ring, kind of, in front of Triple H, then
Yeah.
punning her.
Yeah, and
But of course, Triple H came back and went into Orton's house domestically and pretty much almost committed domestic violence against his wife and threw Randy Orton out of the window.
Yeah, I remember that, and that's like one of the wild card factors heading into SummerSlam. Like, if Daniel Bryan wins, and does Orton try to cash in?
Well,
and,
I think first people are wondering if Bryan wins, how does he win against Cena?
Yeah, and now if Orton doesn't have a match for SummerSlam, which
that really is gonna,
we don't know what's going on.
Well, that's the thing. If Orton doesn't have a match, then we might as well just say, "Oh, Orton's coming out." Where's Daniel wins. Okay, cue voices. Any second.
And that's the thing. Yeah, and they don't. And still, I mean, we only have 2 matches set, I think, so far.
Yeah, but we do have an idea about what main card match is going to happen. Pretty much, we have like an idea.
And I remember they were saying how, they were gonna have Del Rio pick his opponent for.
Yeah,
but I guess
he picked. He supposedly picked Ricardo Rodriguez, and then Vicky came out and said, "No."
Yeah. And of course, Ricardo Rodriguez.
Although, like I said, I think Ricardo is way more over than Alberto, and Ricardo is an actual wrestler.
Yeah,
he's not just a manager or some like random announcer that just flew in with him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ricardo becomes Virgil and turns on Alberto like Virgil turned on Ted DiBiase a long time ago. That's what I hope for. I hope Ricardo has a better career than Virgil did. Honestly, even though I guess on paper it looked well, Virgil didn't do jack after he left Ted DiBiase. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't know who they're gonna. I mean, maybe they're gonna go with Christian because who knows what, Again, there's so many guys that they don't have a match. Barrett, he's been losing to all kinds of matches.
It's amazing
lately.
though. It's amazing.
It's a shame.
Ever since that injury.
Yeah.
I mean, well, actually, even the Saw Monster brought this up. He said, "Wow, I mean, Barrett, he was supposed to be in line to win the Money in the Bank. If he didn't get hurt, he would have been a world champion up to this point, probably."
Yeah.
I mean, Fandango actually, if supposedly a lot of people think if he didn't get concussed, he probably would have been the Intercontinental champion and not Curtis Axel.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have Curtis Axel in that case.
Well, that's the thing too. I think in the end that the company won in that deal, but.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I mean, if you're Fandango, it's like, oh damn.
Yeah.
I what? So I mean, even somehow it's probably a good point. It's like, what's the company saying by doing this here? Either A, stay healthy, or B, if you have an injury, even if it's severe, hide it or try to work through it as long as you can, pretty much. Which I don't think is something you should be, as a company, encouraging.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame.
Oh, Fandango, you have a concussion? Well, do you think it's serious? No, it's not serious at all. I mean, I'm kind of blurred right now, but, I'm sure I can wrestle a few matches and, get this belt.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, obviously, in this day and age, they're taking concussions, more seriously than,
Well, they're taking everything more seriously, Tyler. I mean, God.
But I mean,
drug testing.
Since, I mean, especially since, with the
Chris I think WWE has a more serious steroid stance and drug stance than MLB baseball has right now.
Yeah, well,
and obviously with the whole Ryan Braun and now Alex Rodriguez situation, I think that's going to change Major League Baseball soon.
Yeah.
But I would say WWE has a more stiff drug test than most even professional sports have.
Yeah.
As far as if no matter what the level, if they get caught, they're automatically suspended and their name goes public.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. Every shareholder knows about it. Every fan knows about it. I mean.
Yeah.
They don't hide.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. But I mean, as far as injuries go, and I mean
I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, obviously, if you're out for 7 months, you do lose momentum because they can't just stop storylines midway for 7 months. They gotta keep going,
rekindle what's going on. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, still, I mean, Barrett's been like a guy like Barrett. He's been back for almost a year now, and it's like it's just like some guys they just get lost in the shuffle. Then they have guys like Del Rio and Fandango. They're doing more with him, and it's like really. I mean, but yeah, I mean that's that. So yeah, I guess you want to move on to
Oh, Total
what do we
Divas.
have?
Yes,
Total
Total
Divas.
Divas. Yes.
All right.
I watched.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't. I did
Obviously.
not watch it on E. I watched it on the replay that Raw, and they were even hyping the hell out of this, pretty much. I watched the first episode of Total Divas. To start off the episode, pretty much it's WrestleMania weekend,
Right.
and they were pretty much showing what the Divas, pretty much Natalia, the Bella Twins, the Funkadactyls. I think the two new divas are Anne Marie. I think it's Anne Marie and
The
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 redhead,
literal redhead.
and
Not
and,
just-
and the short one known named JoJo, I believe. JoJo.
Yeah. And of course the redhead is
Yeah.
the one that slapped Jerry Lawler last
Yes,
week.
yes.
Of course.
It's a very pretty much how it starts is Natalia does a great job, pretty much, I think, of showing how tough it is, I guess, to be a diva on the
Yeah.
roster by saying, at least for WrestleMania weekend, for most pay per views, she pretty much says like, look, there might be 8 matches on the card, but only one goes to a diva.
Yeah.
So you have like 10 divas on the roster and only one spot. I mean, for those 10 divas, they got to claw their way into that
Yeah.
spot pretty much. And Natalia gets told by I'm assuming the head of the divas division, pretty much. Like, if I guess as far as creatively for WWE, pretty much has to sit Natalia down and go, Natalia, you're not gonna have a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And Natalia kind of plays it up as, oh, well, I brought all my family down, for the event, and I think actually I think Tyson Kidd, who they are dating in real life.
I think I did see him in a preview.
Yeah. I think they are dating in real life in that. But actually, I think they just got married recently, or at least they're engaged and about to get married. And that might
Really?
actually be featured on an episode, maybe.
Really? Oh, yeah, no, but no, but yeah, I mean, I saw a preview.
Yeah.
Or I didn't. I didn't see the preview, but somebody mentioned that in a preview that they were showing, Nikki Bella complains that the redhead diva, I
Yeah.
forget her name,
Looks like her.
looks like her. Yeah.
Which
And
I
the
don't
funny
know.
thing
I don't know
is,
what.
well,
I don't see
Nikki
it.
Bella, all her life, Nikki Bella's grown up with an identical twin.
That's the
So,
thing. I
yeah,
don't.
So
I don't see it.
yeah, and then and like the first comment is like, well, there's WWE's writers for
But
you. And,
but I guess the goal of the story after that they tell Natalia pretty much, Natty, we have these 2 new divas coming in, and we want you to like chaperone them or watch
Yeah.
over them. Natalia kind of gives like a oh, well, that's nice. And then she kind of like, I guess, because it's almost like they show the actual scene and then like show like, I guess, almost like a camera room, and where they actually say how they actually feel.
yeah,
And Natalia's like, well, this is great. They pretty much tell me I'm old. I gotta go train these young divas to take my spot, and I'm gonna get fired
Yeah.
down the line, pretty much.
and that would make
And
sense.
what really
too.
pisses her off is that when one of the new divas show up, Anne Marie, she doesn't have red hair right away.
That's
She has
true,
kind of like a
yeah.
Bella twin, like
I remember
brown,
seeing
brown
that
hair.
in the preview. And
Yeah.
then- yeah,
And apparently,
maybe
because you can only have 2 brown head ladies in the
Bella
company,
twins. Yeah,
they tell Anne Marie you gotta turn your you gotta change the color of your hair to blonde, which pisses the hell off Natalia. And everybody goes saying cat fight, cat fight, cat
Yeah.
fight.
yeah. So maybe that's why they said, okay, change your hair to red so you don't look so much like.
Well, no.
yeah.
Actually, what she eventually does is she goes and she says she's saying, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do yellow." And I think she says something like, like I look like Simba from The Lion King or Mufasa or something.
Yeah.
So she
Well,
has
it
to turn it
looks-
red.
yeah.
She shows it.
Looks a little
She thinks she should.
cartoonish.
Actually, they're joking it. They think she just fired herself because they blatantly told her change the color of your hair to yellow. And if you know what
Straight
there to
up
be
yellow.
creative, you do not disobey their orders.
Yeah.
Once you get the marching orders, Tyler, you listen.
Yep.
And she shows up, and our back of the Divas lady goes, "Oh, what happened to blonde?" and she actually goes, "Well, I actually don't. I hate saying this kind of, but I actually like the red hair better than the blonde idea." So she keeps her job, but she kind of gives like a warning saying like, "Look, our job's to tell you pretty much what to say, what to do, how to act, and perform. We are kind of your bosses, pretty much.
Yeah.
So don't do it again." So it's kind of a slap on the wrist, pretty much.
Yeah.
But the main focus, well, besides that, I guess you probably say we do see kind of which wrestler's actually dating. Like one of the Funkadactyls is dating one of the Uso brothers.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, Natalia's dating Tyson Kidd. I already told you Brie Bella is dating Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Now, was like Daniel Bryan and John Cena, were they like present on the show?
Yeah,
like,
they were.
They had a present.
They had a presence. Pretty much the story, and I almost feel like this episode's the same of the season. Nikki kind of knows. They kind of bring up that John recently had a divorce with his wife.
Yeah.
Which got
last
a lot of.
year.
And she's kind of like saying, so John's had an emotional state in his life right now. She says that on TV. It's like, yeah, John, John's kind of happy, and they're fishing and thinking John's backyard of his house in Florida. Because most guys live in, I think, Tampa, Florida region, pretty much. Like, I think most of them are neighbors. And recently, so Nick's like, I want to keep saying, hey, do you want to move a relationship further? But I don't want to, like, emotionally hurt the man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, this is great. So, we do run into, what eventually happens is John apparently buys Nikki a brand new vehicle.
Oh yeah.
And Nikki's kind of shocked because usually a wedding, like usually, do you want to marry me comes out and then the vehicle comes.
Yeah.
And even Daniel Bryan, who they acknowledge as Bryan Danielson, that's his real name.
Yeah.
Even as Bree and Daniel walking over to like Nikki's house and they see the car and Bryan goes, I guess almost like unleashing like his inner Dr. Phil goes, well, this is kind of weird. I mean, usually from a guy perspective, he says like, usually, a ring comes first and then a vehicle.
Yeah.
But it's funny watching Bryan Danielson try to give, I guess, marriage or girlfriend relationships like support or advice.
Yeah.
It's like he's gonna be the Dr. Phil of this series.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, they eventually get to WrestleMania. Like I said, the Bellas and Funkadactyls are supposed to have this match, and there's actually a funny moment where the Funkadactyls are rehearsing with Brodus and Tenzai, and apparently Brodus gets pissed off at the rehearsing their entrance, and gets like in this one of the Funkadactyls' faces, and the Funkadactyl, like I forget her name, I think it's Adriana, who I think is on Tough Enough. She was the first one eliminated from Tough Enough. It was just funny. She's the only one on that season that actually is on the main roster.
Yeah.
The runner-up side on who won Tough Enough season? Like the only season.
Oh, you mean the guy?
Big Andy.
Big Andy got
fired.
The guy that's not in the that's not in the company now anyway.
No, the only person who's in the company is the guy who got the lady who said that the best match in WWE history was Alicia Fox. And I don't know who the diva she haven't mentioned. I think it was like one of the Bella twins, and she's like, no, Alicia Fox versus Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
And Austin goes without like saying a word, pretty much goes, "What? You're telling me in the history of the company?"
Yeah.
But she apparently is upset, and she goes up to like her boyfriend, who I think his name's Vincent, and says Brodus like got mad. And Vincent apparently not being behind the locker room, apparently does not know Brodus Clay. That or either WWE has just finally come out and said Brodus Clay is such a pussy in real life, pretty much. Because Vince is now saying, I want to go to the locker room, I want to call this guy out and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And even like Natalia's, and then even Natalia's like trying to tell him to calm down, like, don't do this, you might get your girlfriend fired. Because they do not encourage locker room fights between, because first of all, he's not even a wrestler, he's just like there for support.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of was like hoping for at least some kind of like on-camera action with Brodus Clay, just to see how Brodus in real life is.
Yeah.
But like I said, we eventually get to WrestleMania, and Natalia and Anne-Marie and JoJo are up in like the press box, looking over Mania the whole night.
Yeah.
And I think after the Triple H Brock Lesnar match, well, actually, here's the funny thing. The Bella Twins the Funkadactyls having a wardrobe problem. Their costumes are not done yet. Their ring attire is not done yet. And as this is going on, they're showing the Punk Taker match, and they keep screaming at the ladies, "Can you finish up soon? We are next."
Yeah.
Which means, according to this show, they were going on after Taker and Punk.
And before Lesnar.
But no. It gets better though. They said that. I'm trying to think first. Hang on, So they finally get this thing done. They finally get their whole attire together.
Yeah.
and they're like running to the entrance and that, and they actually see the Bellas going through the curtains like for the entranceway, and then like right behind, and they're all ready to go. And Talia's like telling him, "Okay, they're next." The Bellas like she's like so excited. I'm like, "Oh, okay, it's a Divas match," but I guess for you guys, this is just being on the card is an accomplishment. And all of a sudden, John Cena's music hits, which I even admit that shocked me because I felt like it came out of nowhere pretty much. Because I was expecting the Bellas and match to happen eventually. And when John Cena happens, Natalia's like, "This is weird. This is supposed to happen. It's supposed to be on the card at this stage." And automatically it starts hitting me. Wait a minute. I believe we just skipped the match though, because the way they're wording it, it's that it's Taker and Punk that came on, and then the match, and then what I think we're missing a match before we get to Rock Cena here, and I didn't know why, but then I hear the explanation of why they got cut, and Natalya comes down to the locker room to see that the Bellas and the Funkadactyls, and they're like very upset, And she asks, "What the hell happened, guys? You guys were supposed to be on it this time." And they go, "We got cut due to time constraints. The match before us went too long." And I said, "Bingo! Triple H and Brock Lesnar went too long." But I guess because Triple H is Triple H, you can't say he screwed a bunch of divas out of a WrestleMania payday, pretty much. Not to mention Brodus Clay. That's the best thing too. You don't even see Cody Rhodes, Sendo, Tensai, or Clay's reaction. And I guarantee you they were just as pissed off as they were that they going to get cut. So according to Triple H's mind, like most people figured, he is a diva in real life. Because he can even man up and admit now that according to this show that WWE produces, he and Brock Lesnar, he and Brock Lesnar are responsible for these girls not getting a WrestleMania payday. No, it's Taker and Punk's fault. A match went on way before we did. Yep. So that's how the show pretty much ends. Then they show like a season preview, and it goes as far as pretty much showing stuff like how Nikki hates how well Bryan Danielson and Brie Bella's relationship is better than her and John's relationship. Nikki, it shows the Divas. It shows the Bellas and all the Divas going to Vegas, and how they get drunk one night, and one of the Bellas actually like collapses, almost hits their bangs their head on a table almost. Natalya pretty much is pissed off in one of the clips and wants to get she's like very upset, and she's like wearing either a swimsuit or bra and panties. I don't know. As sad as it is, I don't know what. Oh, I know she barely has any clothes on, and she goes up to Tyson Kidd, who just lets her lay on his knee, and just starts rubbing her head hair. And while it's gone, Natalya's saying you don't listen to me, you don't do this shit, you just treat me like a childhood friend. Then, and they are. They actually grew up together, and that's why they're probably in a relationship now. But it's like okay, well, I guess we gotta go through the pain before we get to the marriage, huh? Pretty much talk about how the new divas are slowly starting to steal the spotlight of the veteran divas, which pisses off one of the Bella twins apparently. Yeah.
There barely even are any veteran divas really these days.
Well, yeah, I think it's funny though that the only divas that aren't featured are the ones that you should get most airtime on this. I mean, there's no AJ, there's no AJ, there's no Caitlyn, and Layla. I should say Layla did make a quick appearance. She was I guess counseling one of the Funkadactyls who was still upset about getting from Mania, but and then the final clip is John Cena proposing to Nikki Bella apparently for marriage.
Right.
I think for storyline purposes, because as far as I know, as far as I know, they only been dating for a couple of months. But no, so there will be a lot of John Cena and Daniel Bryan. There will be a lot of backstage arguments in that. But no, I mean, I guess for what they're going for, I'd say it's an accomplishment. Obviously, based on what he said, the ratings were happy. They were happy with the ratings. So but no, that was the first episode of Total Divas.
So wait, with this proposal, did she give? Did she give John Cena? What did she? Or did
no? She started breaking down and crying. So we, da 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 da.
Yeah. maybe that's not quite the right, but
Oh my god!
But
But yeah,
yeah.
no, that was the pilot episode. of Total Divas. Like I said, I'm probably not gonna be a follower, but based on
Yeah.
the first episode, I am
it
intrigued
seems
by
like
the.
they're all over the place.
I am intrigued by the Bryan Danielson and John Cena
Yeah.
relationship because it feels like you will see a lot of. Oh, but there is even a quick clip for the preview where they show a shirtless John Cena on bed making out with Nikki Bella,
Oh boy, yeah.
which I'm sure is gonna piss a lot of female John Cena fans. John, I could treat you better, John. I could treat you
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But
Oh, boy.
oh my god, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna be a fan of the show. I kind of knew to begin with, but I just said I
Yeah,
gotta watch
it's
the
not
first
my thing
episode.
either.
I gotta watch at least the first episode. I
Yeah.
gotta see what the hell this show's
And,
gonna
and
be
again,
about.
yeah, and again, it's another reality show. I mean,
Well,
so,
keyword,
you know,
it's
and
not real.
WWE.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing there too. I'm even curious how if any of this shit is real.
Yeah.
Most of our shows.
I mean, obviously, you know, there's
it's-
real life relationships here, but
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of this is heavily staged just for entertainment
Yeah.
purposes. I mean, come on. John is such a good, kind-hearted person, but he's such an emotional state right now.
yeah,
I'm just like,
he's the WWE champion.
yeah, you know,
I don't know.
he has the highest paycheck in the company, probably. Yeah, lives in a nice house. Yeah, I don't know how this guy could be
Yeah,
depressed
oh
right now.
man,
Yeah, oh man, depressed. Yeah, very depressed right now.
yeah.
I'm dating a hot girl right now. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That makes me think about suicide
Yeah.
once in a while.
So now,
Oh
alright.
my god.
So now from switching gears from Total Divas to
Total
TNA.
total nonstop action.
Total,
And
total.
Oh my
total
God.
this, total that.
based on the past 2 weeks, that name definitely is adding up. There was
Yeah.
a lot of off-screen action in TNA the last 2 weeks. And I'm sorry, Todd, we had to talk about this on the show
Yeah.
because I feel like everybody's talking about it because I have never seen this much
So much.
dysfunctional
Yeah.
from one company.
Yeah.
Forget wrestling, in a company in general.
Yeah. A lot of talk about, oh man, TNA's in trouble, and
So
So-
I think we should start with the beginning of how this whole turmoil started, pretty much. There were a lot of releases that happened like a couple weeks ago. Some big names. You had Bruce Pritchard, who was head of talent relations.
Yeah.
Got fired because supposedly TNA is apparently trying to cut.
Yep.
TNA wanted to cut his paycheck, and Bruce Pritchard said,
Their
"Oh well."
version of John Laurinaitis. I
Yeah,
guess.
and Bruce Pritchard's pretty much told them to go fuck themselves, and he's
Boy.
gone. D'Lo Brown, the former VP of Aces and Eights, apparently the reason why he's gone is because he also got fired and let go of the company. And this is even funny. He would take a pay cut, but yet TNA fired him anyway.
Yeah.
And of course, Doc from Aces and Eights, Luke Gallows, which might be good
Right.
news for I guess if you're a guy who wants to see him back with Punk on WWE.
WWE.
Because honestly, he was doing nothing on Aces and Eights. But he got let go. Apparently, his contract expired, and he just said, "I'm done.
Yeah.
They didn't want to renew it, so I'm out. I'm out." And every winner of the Gut Check Challenge got released from TNA, which shows you how pointless that segment, that segment, the matches, all that has become. Not only that, OVW, TNA's development territory, apparently
Yeah.
has not been getting any funding from TNA anymore. So while WWE is funding more into NXT and their development, like they
Yeah.
have, TNA is saying, no, you're not getting anything. Yeah, it's not going to kill your company because, you're not losing anything, just some future stars maybe out there. So, far as I know, the only gut check challenger that's still left is Jay Bradley, and that's because he's in the Bound for Glory series right now. But apparently all this releases has led to some TNA talent asking WWE, pretty much WWE legal teams, hey, is there any legal way for us to get out of our contracts? And WWE's pretty much saying, no, just sit tight, and like I said, if something gets better for you guys, Obviously, there's some guys I think that might get a guarantee at least tryout with the company.
Yeah.
Or at least get a development contract. At this stage, I mean, I don't know why
Yeah.
like a guy like Samoa Joe or AJ Styles might not, especially since Joe's a
Yeah.
best friends with CM Punk for crying out
Yeah. And
loud.
it'd be interesting. Yeah, and because WWE has so many like guys already, like
Yeah.
that are like seem to be lost in the shuffle. It'd be interesting to see, like, if they could fit those guys in somewhere, maybe, and maybe with some of this, nonsense that it just seems to waste time.
But
anyways.
But then Dixie Carter apparently got wind of all this rumors on the net and decided to hold a meeting with the talent. And pretty much said, the rumors of the company going into turmoil are false. These cuts are done because of apparently the I believe, I don't know, it's TNA switched from like a 12 pay-per-view schedule to like a 4 pay-per-view schedule.
Right, yeah.
But they still make at least other monthly pay-per-views, but that they call one-night onlys.
Yeah.
They tape them. But apparently that's the reason why they had to make all these cuts. Now, first of all, I would say, why not get rid of the one-night only pay-per-views? Because they sound pretty
Yeah.
Well, Todd, the whole point of one night only is that these are just random shows, really.
Sort of like a Saturday night's main event kind of thing.
Yeah, but they have no point to the main storyline to even say that. So in other words, you can watch it, and based on the fact that they cut talent due to the cost, I think anybody's buying these pay-per-views because there's no point in buying the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing special you're getting. Oh, yay, some talent comes back for one night only. I mean, I get that, but
yeah, there's no story.
There's no storyline. There's no incentive.
No backbone. Yeah.
So I don't know why Dixie is using this as a reason. And so I don't know why TNA just didn't say, okay, let's just get rid of the one night only pay per views and maybe save some money that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you got to cut, but why not just cut the pay per views that don't do anything? But pretty much told him that's pretty much what she said in a meeting. And then what I would say was what made this story start to become very magical. At a TNA house show somewhere in Missouri, TNA apparently, an attendance of only 250 people.
Wow.
And when I say some names on the card, Tyler, I cannot believe there's some people on this company who left WWE to perform in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And are now performing in front of 250 people.
Yeah.
But apparently in Missouri, you need a certain wrestling license. And apparently somebody up in upper management, TNA, it sounds like people are blaming Bruce Pritchard, who recently got fired, and apparently said, well, I'm fired. It's not my job to deal with licenses then. So because of that, at least half of the roster that was advertised for this house show could not perform because they didn't have a proper wrestling license. This is supposed to be the second biggest wrestling company in the country.
Yeah.
This sounds like a number one. This is supposed to be like the number one thing here. Should be. So here is the card that lasted a total of 90 minutes. It was a 90-minute show, Tyler. I've never been to any WWE house show, but how long do they usually last?
A house show?
You've been to a few.
Yeah.
How long do they usually
the
last?
thing is, they're normally like they'll have like Raw, house show. It'll be like maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
Or something. And then, but they might before that, they might lump in whoever they please and,
But here is the card that they had. Match number 1, Bully Ray versus James Storm. Match number 2, Devon versus Gunner. Match number 3, Samoa Joe versus Bobby Roode. Match number 4, because we couldn't get enough of these guys in the first time, Team 3D versus Storm and Gunner. And the main event, Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle.
Oh, really?
250 people.
Wow.
Jeff Hardy and Kurt Angle performing in front of 250 people.
Wow.
I am lost for words.
Yeah.
I really, it's like when I hear Kurt keep saying why he would stay in TNA, I'm like, this is it, Kurt, right? 250 people. This is where your career has come to now. You're at this stage in your life now. Jeff Hardy, same thing. Gee, that WWE deal just doesn't look that great now, does it? But TNA made up for the fans. They said because most of the roster that was advertised. Keep in mind that one of the people who was advertised and didn't show up was the new TNA World Champion Chris Sabin.
Really?
So the World Champion couldn't perform. Most of the X Division guys could perform. Most of the knockouts could perform. It was a nightmare. But TNA, to make up with the fans, said, we'll give you a special offer. Everybody, whether you bought a special behind the scenes ticket or not, can go backstage and get autograph and pictures for free.
Really?
Yeah.
awesome.
And supposedly TNA
That's
does
good.
TNA does offer this at other house shows. This is something that WWE I know does not offer. I mean, you can
Yeah.
get autographs, but it's pay. I think there is
Yeah,
a fee.
special. Yeah.
Oh, a special ticket too.
Yeah. There's,
Now, this pissed off some special ticket people who now look at the fact that they just spend a shitload more money than people who got normal tickets, and normal people who got tickets now get to go back and get the same treatment they do.
Yeah.
However, Jeff Hardy, because I guess he's Jeff Hardy, would not accept pictures for free. He charged a $20 fee for a picture with Jeff Hardy.
Oh, really?
Even though the
gotta
company said specifically free pictures and autographs. And he would not even give out autographs, supposedly. Just pictures for $20. Jeff Hardy. I guess to buy all that weed that he needs so bad. Or whatever other drugs he's taking in his body. But, and you know what? You thought that would end the chaos for... But then, a release that shocked me, because I heard about this story a couple of years ago. Well, I actually think it happened last year, or 2 years ago, maybe. Jesse Sorensen got released from TNA. A guy who I thought, because of what he went through in that company, would get a job for life. Tyler, you know who Jesse Sorensen is? He is an X Division wrestler. He wrestled Zema Ion at a pay-per-view, I believe it was Turning Point. And during the match, Zema Ion effed up I think it was, I don't know, he effed up a move, ended up landing on top of Jesse Sorensen's head. And right after that, Jesse Sorensen was immediately paralyzed. Got sent to the hospital. I think he had like a vertebrae problem in that. And TNA even did a video of this. Yeah, they had Dixie Lily in the hospital talking to Jesse's mom and saying how he will always have a company here and Jesse's gonna make it because we know Jesse's a fighter in that. And suppose he has recovered. Suppose he is walking. So thank God.
Oh, yeah.
But suppose he's not been medically cleared to wrestle, which is not good news for him because like I said, not only did he just lose a job, but he's not medically cleared to wrestle. So even though he is supposedly wrestling on the independent circuit again, which I think is a smart move on his part.
Yeah.
Until a doctor medically clears you, I wouldn't do it because that means that neck's not as maybe healthy as you think it is, Jesse. And I've seen the guy wrestle. All it takes is one F up again, and Jesse's back to maybe being a paraplegic for the rest of his life. But no, this kind of upset me because, like I said, Jesse Sorensen did leave a tweet on his official Twitter account pretty much saying, look, I was promised by Dixie Carter that I'd have a job for life in this company. And I just learned that promise was false. Way to go, Dixie. Way to go. Playing the nice face, huh? I'm so glad that you just unleashed your inner Vince McMahon finally on the people. Just told us that you and Vince really are not that different from each other. Because, like I said, the Solid Monster even brought this up, saying people being too hard on Dixie. And I agree with that. Vince McMahon, WWE have fired some controversial people before. Dawn Marie, they fired her for, I believe, maternity leave. She was pregnant when they fired her. That's great. They fired Test, Andrew Martin. This was, I think, right before he died. I think he was having spinal surgery or something. And John Laurinaitis said, Andrew, don't worry. We don't fire you for going through that kind of surgery. Well, apparently Johnny did read the memo. And a classic guy from the Attitude Era. He was, I believe at one point his gimmick was puke. I think it was Drox. He at one point was going to be, I think it was one point he was a member of the Road Warriors when Hawk was going through his drug issues and that. One time he wrestled D'Lo Brown on Raw, took a pile driver wrongly and was immediately paralyzed or had neck problems. Yeah. And Vince McMahon went up to this guy and said, don't worry, you can have a job at life in this company. And in 2007, he got released. Yeah. Now, supposedly, according to Solid Monster, he has seen his name reappear on WWE.com recently. So maybe he has been hired to still work on the website, maybe. Yeah. Which is good news for the guy, because I think if, like I said, if the company that hired this guy is responsible slightly for the injury and the end of this guy's career, I think they owe him
somewhere,
some kind of compensation for this. Yeah. Apparently, Jesse Sorensen was fired because he was working as a producer for TNA, and apparently he was getting paid more than the producer. Why he couldn't ask him to take a pay cut, I have no idea. There were people in TNA worried about this firing because they thought, bad PR move. Well, no shit. But there were people saying that this move now pretty much says, hey, they will fire anybody. Yeah, I'll believe that when Hulk Hogan's name comes up next. Or Brooke Hogan, or Sting, or any other of these old fart veterans just
Yeah.
who get paid probably, I don't know how much more than these guys do.
Yeah.
So apparently all this has led to what I would say is one of the greatest moments in TNA history unintentionally. Apparently Dixie Carter thought that if you pretty much tell the fans, she pretty much said, hey, we understand we've gone through a lot of trouble. I will answer any question that you throw at me on my official Twitter account. When I don't know when the words Twitter and solving problems ever go together,
right?
I don't know what she was thinking, but I have a list here of some of the questions that she actually got asked.
Yeah, rather long list.
This isn't even. I would tell this is even half or a quarter of them.
Yeah, exactly.
This is some of the ones I found on NoDQ.com. So people, here it is. The hashtag Ask Dixie questions. As some people said, because this actually supposedly was trending, the #1 tweet at one point.
Yeah.
On Twitter, as NoDQ calls it, the greatest hashtag in Twitter history. So here are some of the questions that supposedly TNA fans were asking Dixie Carter about the product. Question number 1. How big is Batista's dick? Question number 2. Can I put my nuts in your mouth like Austin Aries did to Henry? Question number 3. Did you ever learn the proper way to spell RVD? Question number 4. Is Booker T still coming for Hulk Hogan? Question number 5. Is Hogan in the room telling you that we are just marks, and this is exactly the feedback TNA needs right now? Question number 6. I, for one, love watching Impact. Put me to sleep faster than NyQuil. Question number 7. Why did you hire everyone on the cover of the Death of WCW to run your company? Question number 8. Could you maybe let Edward Snowden take asylum in your house shows? Nobody will ever look there. Question number 9. When is the New Blood Rising pay-per-view going to happen? I'm dying to see what the Millionaires Club are going to do next. Oh crap. I think question number 10.
Either way.
Yeah. Screw it. Will you buy out JTG's WWE contract, release more wrestlers, and make JTG the TNA World Champion? Question number 11. Is it true George Zimmerman and Aaron Hernandez were headline Bound for Glory? Question number 12. Is it true you once got busy in a Burger King bathroom? Question number 13. Is it true that you gave Hulk Hogan a rim job in the bathroom of a Carl's Jr. so he could sign the contract? Question number 14. Has Hulk Hogan ever watched his X tape all the way through, or does he insist on watching himself slam Andre repeatedly? Question number 15. Did you hire Brooke to basically work as a fluffer to Hulk? Question number 16. If there is a dead hooker in your bathroom, what is the best way to dispose of a subject?
Flush.
Question 17. My offer from last night still stands. I have 60 cents and a 9-volt battery in my pocket. Is that enough to buy TNA? Question 18. Any chance you do us a favor and release Sting so we can have Sting versus Taker at Mania next year? Question number 19. Yeah. Does Jeff Hardy ever light up your office? Question number 20. If a train leaves Philadelphia traveling at 6.8 miles per hour, another train leaves Los... go fuck yourself. And the final question that I thought was hilarious. Do you know how many guitars Jeff Jarrett is going to have to use to fix this? Do you? So, there's more, but I didn't want to take up that much of the show with them. You could probably find them online. They're probably not going away. apparently Dixie Carter has responded to this and said that she pretty much said that she will only address serious questions and legitimate questions this coming Thursday. Whatever legitimate question she means,
Yeah.
I have no idea. But honestly, she set this up on herself. So
Right.
hopefully this is the end of the TNA turmoil for a while. I doubt
We'll
it.
see. Yeah.
I see more cuts coming, more releases, and maybe more Twitter stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the number 2 company in wrestling company, and maybe just say this: if it is
Yeah.
number 2, it's a very distant second right now.
Yeah.
They're not even in the same league with WWE. No, not the planet, universe, galaxy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to say pretty much, but I just felt like we had to talk about it because, like I said, this is just some of the most
Barbaric stuff going.
You could say barbaric. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm trying to think of the right word.
Can you imagine if this kind of stuff was going on with WWE?
Oh God, Vince would die.
And the
Vince,
yeah.
the stress would just kill him. So I don't know. I guess we can end the show on that note.
Yeah.
Hopefully TNA.
See how the turmoil.
No, I should say this. Please, TNA, just go out of business because I think you're really just killing nothing but careers now.
Yeah.
Just or better yet, do what Paul Heyman needs. Because I can't be a Dixie Carter. I'm the Paul Heyman. I'm not Vince McMahon. I'm Paul Heyman. This is family. Bullshit. But
yeah.
But what Paul Heyman did when ECW was folding, he said, "Hey, Dudley Boys, Raven, Rob Van Dam, go to WWE. You know, Lance Storm, go to like he gave them jobs. He made sure they had jobs when the company folded.
Right. Yeah.
He knew the company was going to fold. He knew it was going to be a couple of months. So he said, "There's no point in keeping these guys here. They're going to be out trying to scramble in the independent circuit." And back in the day, it wasn't as I think organized as it is now.
Yeah.
So Dixie, stop saying that the company's not in trouble because you cannot show me that information and tell me this is a successful company.
Right. Yeah.
250 at a house show.
At a time, yeah. At one time, I mean, they were doing pretty good, but now, it does seem like they're falling apart.
I want to know how much Brooke Hogan's making right now.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the talent that just got released.
Yeah.
She's not even a wrestler.
Right.
And honestly, her if she's not going to turn on the Hulkster and join Bully Ray, there's no point in having her there anyway.
Yeah.
The head of the Divas division. Yeah, she's really turned that division around.
Yeah.
Why don't you just give her the Knockouts championship? Just give her it now. She looks bigger than any of the Divas anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I guess with that in mind, that'll wrap things up here on this edition of the Great Wrestling Debate.
Hopefully we'll have some good news from TNA next week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows?
250. Who?
Yeah.
Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy performing in front of 250 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, apparently, we were not the only ones making fun of TNA this week. Like I said, Don, Tony, Kevin Castle did it.
Yeah, sure.
Bully Ray was not happy. You know what, Bully? It's not their fault that you're working at a company that's going. That's the Titanic at this moment. It's just at the iceberg and is slowly sinking to its doom, pretty much.
Yeah. So this week it was a Bully Ray as a beef with him. Last week it was me. So yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot, to criticize right now with what's going on with TNA.
Oh,
but
God.
Yeah, I mean,
but here's the thing too. They were always a laughing stock, but this last 2 weeks has made it almost like, can you even laugh at him at this point?
Yeah. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up. We'll see what goes on with
TNA.
And you heard, if you listened, you heard a spoiler with with SmackDown, but
Christian Del Rio.
We'll
see what happens.
We'll see what happens there, and we'll see what happens as we get closer to SummerSlam. See if maybe we see more.
Respect the beard, Tyler.
Yep.
Respect the beard.
Yep.
They better not shave his beard next week.
Yeah.
So that's it, people. So long. This is Tyler Warner, Wayne Kirscher, Great Wrestling Debate. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yep. See ya.